5 years on, the war against the Taliban still rages in Afghanistan. In the dust and sand of southern Helmand, an elite British force roams the desert. The spearhead of the fight against the insurgency and the mission to bring peace to Afghanistan. The Helmand River Valley, the backbone of the province, where the people live and from where the Taliban hide, and this British unit comes looking for a fight. And on day one, that's exactly what they got. We pulled back to avoid incoming rockets.
Yeah, basically what happened there, Alistair, with the motors. Yeah. You've got motor one side of us, motor one side of us, Bosch, 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 Bosch is on top of us, that's why we moved back.
Artillery shells rained down on Taliban positions. The Brigade Reconaissance force expected them to be here. Their job is to test out where the Taliban are and what weapons they have. And when attacked, they fire back. The battle ended with a 1,000-pound bomb dropped from the air and another piece of Gamsa destroyed. Trundling across the desert, the elders of the town have had enough, and they spent hours tracking down the British forces just to tell them so. A shura, or traditional Afghan meeting, was convened, but the tea was English. Even crossing cultures, their message was clear. Most people have left the town centre for the villages and are now living 8 or 9 families to one house, they say. The Taliban are in the central bazaar, but when they see you heading for the villages, they come to our houses and shoot from there. When you fire back, it's at our homes, our people. The reconnaissance force is built for fighting, and their tactics may be scaring hearts and minds away. The perception might be that the longer you're here, the better it is for the Taliban.
The concerns from the elders are that this tactic, if you like, of probing, attack, counter-attack, bombs, withdraw on either side, has been going on for some months now. And I get the impression that they've had enough.
And it's clear to see why here, in the only part of town not under Taliban control. As the patrol left Gamsa district centre after a reconnaissance mission, they drove straight into an ambush. Getting closer.
You're getting closer?
We were just crossing the bridge, across the river, when the shots started coming in. They returned fire. We're behind a wall now because we heard shots overhead. Just a whizzing sound, quite a lot. We're getting closer and closer. So we're now behind this hard cover, and I hope they can't get us here. That was close.
Yeah, you're on to me.
Roger. We're going to cancel the fire mission. We've just had some civilians move into the location, so we've had to pull it off.
An airstrike was abandoned and the firing stopped. They headed back into the desert for the night. All men accounted for. A few minutes of whispered talk about the fighting before bedding down. In the chaos of battle, it's impossible to assess casualties. They heard reports of Taliban dead, but no real proof, and no word on civilians.
A lot of people in the UK sort of didn't think it was going to be a war that you came here to fight. It was going to be more about peacekeeping.
There's different ways of keeping the peace, though. It depends what the situation is out here. Keeping the peace might be walking around handing sweets out to children, or it might be helping people get rid of people from their village that they don't want there. We just take what's thrown at us.
A resupply, bringing in more ammunition after an intense start to what'll be weeks on the ground. But will bullets and rockets really win the war, or win the people over? Alistair Leithhead, BBC News, Helmand Province, southern Afghanistan.